Okay, let's draw this adjustable support. You'll notice over here on the left-hand side of the screen there's an example of what it is that I'm going to draw, and over here on the right is where I'm going to draw it. I'm going to start out by drawing a circle. Let's draw a circle that has a radius of 0.5, and let's draw a concentric circle that has a radius of 1. I'm going to draw another circle at the center of this one, and I'm going to give it a radius of 3 units. The next thing I'm going to do is copy both of these circles, and I'll copy them exactly from the center to a quadrant. The distance between these two sets of concentric circles is exactly 3 units. Now I want another pair very similar to that right up here in this area, and the angular distance, if you will, between them will be 40 degrees. And there are a couple of different ways to accomplish this. One way is to just simply copy all of these objects exactly from their center, but copy them at a relative 3 units and an angle of 40 degrees. And as you can see, I'll get those circles to be exactly where I want them. Let's undo that real quick and try another method. There's a tool called Polar Array. It allows us to make copies of things about a pole. Let's select these 2 circles, and let's tell AutoCAD that the center of our array is going to be the center of that circle. Now, initially AutoCAD is going to throw up a good number of copies. So we have to tell AutoCAD that we only want 2 copies, the original plus 1 more, and that the angular distance between the 2 is going to be 40 degrees. I'm going to turn associative off, and then I'm going to close the array. As you can see, I'll end up with exactly the same thing as I did before. Right now, I'm going to delete that center line, and I'm going to draw a circle using a tangent radius specification. I want it to be tangent to this circle, tangent to that circle, and I want it to have a radius of 5 units. As you can see, that circle was drawn on an incorrect layer, so let's select it and reassign it to the visible line layer. And while I'm at it, I might as well just make that visible line layer the active layer, so that we don't have a whole lot of geometry or unnecessary geometry in this drawing. Let's trim by making this a cutting edge and this a cutting edge, and we'll trim that. Let's draw another circle using tangent radius. I want that circle to be tangent to here and tangent to there, and it's going to have a radius of 3 units. Just like before, I'll use the trim tool. I'll make each of these circles cutting edges and trim this. Now, let's try that same tool again. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this. But I'm going to start out by drawing a circle that is tangent to this, tangent to that, and it's going to have a radius of, looks like 4 units. And by trimming, I can make these 2 circles cutting edges and trim that. Now that's one way to do it. I'm going to delete that and show you another way to do the same thing. If I click on Center Radius and tell AutoCAD I want to draw a circle whose center is right here, and I want that circle to be tangent to here, then I'll get the same circle. And just like before, I can define each of these circles as cutting edges and trim. Let's do that again. Let's draw a circle. We'll make that the center, and let's make this particular circle tangent to that. I'll trim by making these circles cutting edges and trim that. Let's use that trim tool again. This time I'm going to make these 2 lines or arcs cutting edges and trim this. Now let's see if we can't just finish this up. I'm going to draw a circle. We'll make it tangent to this. Let's draw another circle from here, and I'm going to make it tangent to this. We'll use the trim tool. I'll make each of these circles cutting edges, and we'll trim this. Let's repeat that trim command. Let's make each of these arcs cutting edges and trim that. And now we have an identical copy of what you see on the left.